Namaste, beautiful yogis. Hi, it's Nicole here, live from Bali. So you can see that I'm surrounded by beautiful gardens here in my villa. So what I thought I'd do is jump in and actually film a class so I can actually post it to the virtual retreat community, as I'm having some difficulty with internet here in Bali. So I'll just give you a few moments, ladies, to get yourself seated, get yourself ready. So as always, try and grab your pillows, your bolsters, your blocks. Even if you have some books around you, that would be great. I'm also needing some water today, so it's quite steamy here. So it's just gone lunchtime here in Seminyak. So I anticipate that because this flow class is being themed around the Surya Namaskar, that I actually may become a little breathless and probably just a little bit sweaty and hot, but that's just what the yoga practice is. So you practice to our level and we practice where it is that we are. So finding your seat, give you a couple more minutes just to get yourself set. And for those of you who followed a post that I actually did this morning, I want to show you one of the most magnificent fruits here in Bali. It's called the mangosteen. So I know that you probably can't see how absolutely succulent and delicious this fruit is, but this outer coating and this outer layer then opens up to this beautiful white fruit with a series of 5 petals, so it's shaped like a flower. So I bought trays and trays of mangosteen this morning off a beautiful beach seller. Her name was Nuala, and Nuala and I were speaking about the moon, in fact, and she said, "For good luck, woman, for good luck." She said certainly it is still the black moon, not the white moon, she said, but this will bring lots of love and abundance. So she was just such a lovely, lovely woman, so earning her living by selling fruit on the beach. How magnificent. So I want to just devote the practice to her this afternoon as well. So coming to find your seat, coming to find the breath, watch the rise and fall of the breath. So we're breathing in and inhaling through the nose. And as we're exhaling, we're releasing things that no longer serve us. So breathing in for love and kindness, and exhaling out for ridding the things that no longer serve our higher perspective. So being here in the island of the gods, certainly feel a different vibration, a different energy. So I'm hoping that you're going to be able to sense and feel this wonderful presence of the universe. So as you're tuning into the breath, you're watching the breath as it rises from the base. And you're drawing the breath from the base into the spine, and as you're drawing the breath into the spine, you're grounding the hips, and perhaps you're grounding the hands. So I have my hands, palms facing down. And what I'm also doing is raising the chest, so making sure that the chest is open but the shoulders are down the back. And just really sitting in to feel the space that this breath provides for us in the body, the opening of the nadis, the little meridians that run the prana, that allow us to feel and experience the heat that's generating in the body. So I'm actually starting to feel quite warm even as I sit here in my Sukhasana, as I start to implore this beautiful element. So we'll be working with the elements of breath and fire. So of prana, so prana in Sanskrit meaning breath, and agni in the beautiful Sanskrit language means fire. So fire builds heat, and we need the breath, and we need the softening of water to actually cool the body. So as I deconstruct and work you through the Surya Namaskar and options for you, we're also going to be cooling the body off with some lovely, nourishing, long, deep holds in some yin sequences. So I guess a lovely way to think of this practice is a yin, so a vinyasa, followed by softening and cooling and lengthening with some deep holds in the yin asana. So as you're tuning into your breath, I'd also like you to just mindfully close the eyes. And let's take a mudra together, so a seal of energy, so sealing perhaps even by touching the thumb and the index finger, by taking a mudra. you're employing the breath, you're breathing in through the nose, and there's a slight pause at the top of the breath. And at this pause, I'd like you to smile and open the beautiful flowers of the mangosteen, the beautiful flowers of the lotus. And on the exhale, release. Inhale, draw in the life force, slight pause at the top of the breath, exhale, release. And as you're continuing with this rotation of the breath, the inhale, the belly is full, and as you rise the breath up through the second chamber, resting into the throat and collarbones, a slight pause at the top, and the exhale is the release. So 5 parts to the breath if you can. But once again, if your lung capacity or if it's not serving you with that inhalation for 5 parts and the exhalation for 5, just make sure that the inhalation and the exhalation are of equal depth, equal length. So as you're settling into your pranayama, your breath regulation, you're taking a seal or a mudra to help you focus. I'm also just now wanting you to maintain a focal point inwards, so a sense of pratyahara, a sense of withdrawal. So sometimes with this sense of withdrawal, the eyes sometimes either roll back in the head or the chin slightly dips. This sometimes just gives us an opportunity to really feel and come into the spaciousness of the body, the rest of the body. And now as you're settling into really tuning into the body, wanting you just to establish now a beautiful relationship with yourself for your practice. What do you call to the mat for this evening or this morning, whenever you're catching this class? And just honour that connection to the self with love and kindness as we start to now open the eyes and just flow with the breath. So inhaling, arms up over the head. Exhale, release the palms to the floor. Inhale, raising arms up over the head. Exhale, raising palms to the floor. You may just want to start to get a little bit more movement through the spine. Inhaling and exhale, release. Inhale, big breath forward, raise the arms up, exhale, release. Inhale, raising the arms up, exhale, release. So winding, body deconstructing yourself, unraveling, exhale, release. So the next inhale, what I'd like you to do is raise the arms up, turning the right palm, so palm facing down towards the mat. You may want to take the spring of the fingers, or you may want to come to the space in the elbow. You may want to also place a block underneath your hand, and then raise and just sit back into that left sit bone, but raising the arm up, length through the armpit, really feeling, and you're not lazy through the front. So what I'd like you to do is lift from the navel and breathe here. Next, inhale, raise the arm up. So the left palm comes to the opposite side, palm facing down. And once again, either up onto the spring of the fingers, so once again, not lazy with the front, the right arm, and just feel into your side twist. Breathe here. That's it. Exhale, release. Opposite side. You may also want to start to just continue with a bit of a heating flow. So remember, when we work with the heating Agni energy, we're actually just gently warming and heating the body. So this is what I'd like you to think about when we're coming into practice, Surya Namaskar, the salute to the sun. So traditionally our Surya Namaskar is practiced in the morning to actually build a dynamic energy center for the day, to help you charge and to move forward. So with these beautiful flow movements, reaching out and opening the body. So sweeping yourself forward. Release, open the heart, exhale. Breathe, inhale, open the heart. for me is I was sitting clearly for quite some time on an aircraft yesterday and didn't have a chance to really lengthen and stretch this 6 foot frame, so this is just beautiful for me as well. Open up. That's it. Final flow. Inhale. And return the body. Settle back and just observe how that starts to feel now for the shoulders, for the sit bones. And now we're going to be coming off our sit bones and going to be coming to the back of your mat. So we're going to be practicing and just warming the body gently with our baby Surya Namaskar. So let's come back to the back of the mat. So buttocks back to heels. And just sitting here with palms facing up. Continuing with the breath. So that's a little bit testy for the backs of the knees. You may want to grab a blanket or a pillow and just stack so the buttocks can reach the backs of the heels. But when you're ready to flow, the inhalation is up and over the head. We're pausing at the top, we're inhaling, and as we exhale, hands through prayer, Namaskar. Next inhale is to float the body forward, sink the head, extension of child pose, Balasana, exhale, release. Stay here for a few breaths. Next inhale, we want to look forward to help ourselves transition, so weight of the palms. Inhale, elbows into the side body, chin and chest to floor, head is forward. Our lizard pose. If that's too much, let's come straight to the floor. Reverse corpse. Now just settling and moving the hands back to the side of the breastbone. Next inhale, lift the head, open through the chest. Uttanasana, Cobra, elbows into the side body. Palms pressing into the earth. Next inhale is to push yourself through tabletop pose. Buttocks back to heels, scooping yourself up and open. Inhale up over the head. Let's continue to flow. Exhale, back to Namaskar. Next inhale, raise yourself forward. Balasana, extension. So think about this as an extension of the spine. Palms facing down. With a few breaths here. Next inhale, once again, scoop the energy in, our elbows into the side body, chin, chest and floor. Looking forward. Next inhale, let's come to the floor, reverse corpse. Let's settle the buttocks. Let's move the hands in beside the breastbone. Continue with a few breaths, make the belly full. Next inhale, raise the head, look forward, elbows into the side body. You can also just start to splay the feet if you like. Uttanasana, Cobra, pushing the palms into the earth, elbows open, heart is open. Next inhale through your tabletop, and once again, buttocks back to heels. Sweep the energy up and open, final rotation. Inhale up over the head. Exhale, back to prayer pose, Namaskar. Next inhale is to move yourself forward into your extension of your Balasana. So think of Balasana once again, releasing the spine, the vertebrae, length through the shoulders, palms facing down, head to the floor if you can. Exhale, release. Next inhale, chin and chest to floor. Pausing here. Next inhale, meeting on the mat, so head to the floor, adjusting the hands so they can come into the side of the breastbone. Getting ready to lift. Uttanasana, Cobra. And once again, back to, now let's take an extension of your balasana. Couple of breaths here. Inhale through the nose. And on the exhale, let's rise ourselves up. Inhale the breath. Let's tap onto the third eye. And let's just rest the hands now into the heart. Bow your head in gratitude for the heat that's starting to build in the body. As we now start to move up to the Surya Namaskar, the sun salutation. So what I will be doing is giving you a couple of options for those regular students who practice with me. Know that we employ the strong value of ahimsa in my teaching. So ahimsa in the Sanskrit, 8 limbs of yoga, essentially means to do no harm. So what I mean by that is the asana practice shouldn't actually take over the feeling that you get when you flow or when you move. So what I'm really wanting you to do is employ this sense of grace and gratitude for the way that your body, your beautiful body likes to work. So I'm just going to give you some adjustments. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be standing. I hope that you can see me. So we would need to make our way to the top of the mat. So coming up to take your Uttanasana pose. So feet strong to the earth, rolling the outside edges of the feet down, palms facing forward, soften the buttocks. Open the chest, continue with the breath. So the next inhale, we're going to be rising up and open. Inhale up over the head. Slight pause. Palms come out, floating yourself forward into forward fold. If that's too much for you here, bend the knees. Rest the chest on the knees, first option. Sink the head back. Or if you have the length in the hamstrings, you may want to come into full forward fold or Uttanasana. So what we can actually do is practice with blocks. So if you have blocks, you stack the blocks and you bring the floor up towards you, or you bend your knees. Next, inhale, Adho Uttanasana. So show the heart space forward. So once again, your palms could be on the front of your shin. So what I'm looking for here is alignment through the backs of the legs, hamstrings long. So shoot the navel up the back. So I want this nice full breath in through the belly, in through Manipurna. And I want the chest focused and forward. So next exhale, either spring of the hands, float of the hands, and we're coming now down into downward facing dog. So the right leg first, and then the left leg. So if this is too much for you here in your downward facing dog, you can come to your tabletop. So for those of you who are working with me, what I'm looking for here is 5 points of contact with each knuckle. So really knuckle down, splay the hands. Too much for the knees. Let's bend the knees first. And I also want you to splay your hips back. So shoot the hips back, shoulders down the back. So we're looking for an apex in the top and the base of the spine, like a pyramid. So the next exhale is to lengthen, if you can, in terms of the space in the hamstrings. Downward facing dog. So what you could also be doing is working on blocks. So you could be stacking yourself up with blocks. So I'm just wanting you to hold here, not hold your breath, but hold the pose. Should be a rest pose. 5 to 8 breaths. So the next inhalation, what I'm going to be doing is bringing my right leg forward into a low lunge or into a high lunge. So let me just try that again. So from your downward facing dog, the right leg comes forward into a high lunge or into a low lunge. Or the other option for you is to not come into the high or low lunge, but rather to walk your feet forward. So if you're in the walk your feet forward version, let's come into Uttanasana. So for those of you who are in the lunge version, let's flow together. So next inhale, left leg comes forward into the low lunge and into Uttanasana, forward fold. Next inhale, let's all rise up together, raising arms up over the head, and the exhale is the release. So just stay here for a couple of breaths. Starting to feel the heat. We're going to be transferring energy onto the left side. Inhale up over the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, show the heart forward, Adho Uttanasana. So remembering the option, sitting the energy back into the heels. Mani Purna, raising up, flat back. Open through the chest. Next, inhale, flatten the hands. So the left leg comes back into your downward facing dog. So let's come into puppy first. So let's bend the knees, shoulders down the back. And let's now lengthen. Five to 8 breaths here. So if any time through the practice this is not serving your body, come back to take your child pose. Okay. And just rejoin where it is that you feel. Remembering coming in to feel your beautiful body. So let's meet here again in downward facing dog. So once again, the transition with the left leg. Into the high lunge, bring of the hands, or into the low lunge. Or from your downward facing dog, you may want to walk yourself forward into forward fold. So let me just do that transition again on the left side. So from the high lunge, right leg forward into Uttanasana, forward fold. Grounding yourself. Next inhale, rise yourself up and open. Next inhale, exhale, release. So finding a few breaths to stabilize here. And we're going to be just now completing another 2 versions of the Surya Namaskar. So the left side and the right side is 1 rotation. So 1 rotation, left side, or right side, left side, back to center. Second rotation, right side, left side, back to center. So this is where you get to dynamically either follow me or just intuitively work to your own flow, which is in essence the Surya Namaskar. Okay, so let's start. Top of your mat. Next inhale, raise the arms up, over the head. Exhale, float yourself forward. Inhale, Adho Uttanasana, show the heart space. Exhale, flutter the hands or spring. Right leg, followed by the left, downward facing dog. Let's just hang out here for just a few moments. Next inhale, right leg forward into the high or low lunge, left leg into forward fold, raising yourself up and open, and exhale is the release. Continuing half of the flow, and then we're going to build on to the next element of the Surya Namaskar. Exhale, so left leg, followed by the right, downward facing dog. Breathe here. So what I'm actually doing is deconstructing the down dog into 2 key sequences. So the left leg into the high or low lunge, and the right leg's forward into Uttanasana, forward fold. Ground the feet, raise energy up, inhale, exhale, release. So let's continue the final flow. And release. forward. Inhale, show the heart. I do Uttanasana. Exhale, left leg, right leg, followed by the left. Downward facing dog. So once again, just come in to find where you need to be. That's it. Next inhale, right leg into the high or low lunge. Left leg into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, raise up and open. Exhale, release. Final flow. Flow forward. Exhale, inhale, show the heart. Exhale, flutter the hands, left leg. Followed by the right. That's it. How's everyone going? Breathe here. Next inhale, left leg into either the high lunge or the low lunge. So the right leg follows forward, forward fold. Inhale up over the head. Exhale is the release. Okay, so let's just now meet ourselves back at the top of the mat. So we're going to be now adding the second component to the Surya Namaskar, which is coming through Chaturanga. So Chaturanga is our hover pose. So from our high plank, so what we're doing here is we're up to the spring of the toes. So what we don't want is kind of concave through the back. We want the weight stacked through the wrists and the shoulders. First option with Chaturanga is to come to the knees, turn the toes back, elbows into the side body like our lizard pose, and scoop the energy, elbows into side Bhujangasana Cobra, upward facing dog. Option to come via your tabletop, turning toes back, downward facing dog. And then we continue with the right leg forward, into the low or high lunge. Left leg meets Uttanasana, forward fold. Raise yourself up and open. Okay, so let's just try that again from Chaturanga. So from your plank, Chaturanga, elbows into the side body. If you're coming with me on the full pose, elbows into side, lift into upward facing dog, and transition into downward facing dog. So once again, you've got a couple of options. Breathing here. So just yogis, choose your option. Next, inhale, right leg forward, high or low lunge. Exhale, into forward fold. Inhale, over the head. Exhale is the release. So how do we feel about putting those two components together? Okay, can't see a thumbs up, so I'm just going to go with it. So let's come to the top of the mat. Inhale. And you float yourself forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, show the heart. Exhale, flatten the hands. Coming into your downward facing dog, right leg followed by the left. So remember, you can take your rest in your child pose. I'm going to take in Chaturanga. So into the high plank, elbows into the side body, upward facing dog. Yogi's choice to come via tabletop or straight into downward facing dog. Breathe here. Next, inhale, right leg forward into the high or low lunge. Remembering taking your option. Exhale, left foot into Uttanasana, forward fold. Ground the feet and the energy up over the head. Exhale is the release. Let's continue to flow on the left side. Inhale, over the head. Exhale, float your body forward. Uttanasana. Uttanasana. Breath in. Show the heart. Exhale, flatten the hands. Left leg. Followed by the right. Downward facing dog. More breaths here. Feeling the heat. Next inhale, Chaturanga if you're coming with me. Elbows into the side, scooping up, upward facing dog. And your downward facing dog. Next inhale, left leg forward into the high or low lunge. And into Uttanasana, forward fold, ground the feet. Raise energy up and open. Inhale. Exhale is the release. Couple of breaths to stabilize. So, how we would traditionally practice the Surya Namaskar is I like to sequence that for a series of 5 sequences. So 5 sequences being the right side, the left side. Let's come back to pause. Right side, left side. Let's come back to pause. So what I think, or I'm intuitively drawn to, is the number 3. But traditionally we practice 5. But let's try and go with 3. So what I'd like you to do is just really come into your version of your flow and the version of what serves your body. Okay, so let's all meet at the top of the mat. And let's place hands into Namaskar prayer pose, hands into the heart. So let's place the hands together and let's rub the hands to generate the heat in through the palms. And let's place the right hand over the heart, the left hand protecting the heart. In salute to the sun in the Surya Namaskar. We give gratitude and love for the strength and the power that the sun provides for us. The heating energy, the Agni, the raised light, providing nourishment, providing all of these beautiful physical and dynamic qualities that we need to coexist in this universe. So we honour the salute to the sun, the Surya Namaskar. The next inhalation, let's flow together. Inhale over the head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, raise the heart center forward. Exhale, right leg followed by the left, downward facing dog. Stabilize here, 5 to 8 breaths. Next inhale, it's coming into your Chaturanga or taking your version to the knees. If you're on the knees version, scooping the energy in and up, adjusting the hands to the breastbone, upward facing dog. Turning back to your knees, turning the toes under, downward facing dog. So next inhale, once again, if you're walking your feet, it's perfectly fine. Otherwise, high or low lunge meets you in Uttanasana, forward fold. Ground the feet, rise the energy up. Expand the spine and the heart, looking up. Exhale, release. And let's continue the flow on the left side. Inhale. Forward fold. Inhale, raise the heart. Exhale, left leg. Followed by the right, downward facing dog. Make that fist through the core, length through the hamstrings. Beautiful. Next inhale, I'm coming through Chaturanga. You can come to your knees, turn the toes. Inhale, chin and chest to floor, splay the hips, elbows into the sides, Bhujangasana, upward facing dog. Once again, turning the hips back, toes back, downward facing dog. Once again, if you're working with the alternate versions, we're meeting here in Uttanasana, high or low lunge. And ground the feet to raise yourself up and open. And the exhale is the release. So just stay in Samastitihi prayer pose just for a few breaths. So what we're going to be doing is you're going to be practicing Surya Namaskar in your own rhythm. So I'm not going to guide the practice, you won't hear me. So just intuitively work with where your body needs to work. So the first rotation, right side, left side is 1. The second rotation, right side, left side is 2. So when we complete the 2, if that's where you're at, we'll meet back in Tadasana. Hands in Samastitihi. So let's start the flow. yourself a couple of moments to reconnect back with asana and bring the palms forward into the mountain pose. So you should have started to feel some beautiful dynamic flow and heat, perhaps some sweat building. I can certainly say that I have some energy that's risen all through my body. It's just glorious. So breathe deeply here in your Tadasana. You are the mountain, you are the sovereign being that is risen above this earth. You are connected to the earth. You are also the element of the sky. So Mother Earth, Father Sky in complete union. You are this vehicle to transfer energy. Perhaps you may like to slowly close the eyes down and feel the energy as it rises and it sways. So at this point in the practice, you may also feel that there is some spiraling energy through the head or through the spine. Just circular motions of flow or kundalini. So the next inhale, let's join hands into prayer pose, and let's just create that heat and energy through the palms again. The next inhale is close the energy off with the right, left palm over the right into the heart. Bow your head in gratitude to the heat, to the Surya Namaskar. As we now slowly make our way to the floor. So the inhale is rising up. Exhale, hands through to the prayer pose, into forward fold. Final exhale into downward facing dog. Slowing the practice now. Exhale, come to the knees. And let's take your child pose. So what I'd like you to do is rest the shoulders, so palms facing up. Press the head to the floor. So I'm just going to be using my beautiful Mysore rug all the way from India. So this magnificent cotton rug actually makes me feel like I'm practicing with the soul, with the earth, back to spirit. So the ancient yogis only clearly practice with mats, cotton mats. So this also helps just with a little bit more grip when you're actually in your seated poses. So let's still take our balasana, our child pose. Rest and reset, rest and digest. Couple more breaths. It's a little bit warm here. Okay, so let's come back to take our tabletop pose. So with tabletop, what I'd like you to be doing is stacking elbows, wrists, shoulders. Also stacking the knees and the hips, making a strong lift of the pelvis. We're going to be coming into cat pulling its tail. Beautiful release for the shoulders as we've been working solidly with stacking the weight through the shoulders here. So next inhale, what I'd like you to do is now stack the weight on the left side, open with the right and thread the right arm in behind the left elbow, palm facing up. And just adjusting into the shoulder here, so a lovely twist from the navel. With that left arm, there is an option to bring and open further into the chest, into the waist, or you may prefer to just have the palm facing down, or if you're working a little deeper still into the shoulder. So if we're working into the shoulder meridian, that's to do with the lungs. Remember we were talking about breath and prana and agni and heat. So completely complementary elements. So once again, you find where you'd like to work in this cat pulling its tail, threading the ivory needle. Other option for the left arm is to come into a bind. But what I'd like you to do is don't be lazy with the left shoulder. Open the shoulder up. Okay, so just find where you'd like to be. Listen to the earth's rhythm, the ear is to the floor. Settle in for a few breaths. Hopefully starting to feel some sensations that are about cooling the body. This dynamic flow and then this intensity of the release. This polarity, the yin and the yang and the yin, the feminine and the masculine, however you like to view energy. Okay, so the next inhale is with that left arm, raising the left arm back onto the mat, coming back to your tabletop pose. And just releasing the spine, maybe a few cat-cows. Just intuitively work the body here, shoulders, hips. When you're back to a stable position, once again, stacking the weight, raising the arm up, threading the opposite side. So the left arm comes in, palm facing up. And rotating the body into that beautiful twist. Opening that right shoulder. And exhale. Right palm faces down. Once again, back to your tabletop. Releasing. Movements of the spine. To transition to the mat. So whichever way you'd like to transition. So crossing the legs, lengthwise out in front of you. So let's just thank our feet for supporting us. So rotating the ankles. Palms facing down, slide the buttocks in, knees up into the chest. Maybe just rotating the knees from side to side. So the next inhale, the right leg is to the floor, buttocks into the heels. That left foot coming in with the left foot flexed, the outside edge of the right knee. Next inhale, so this is just reverse pigeon pose with support. So in terms of stacking and opening that left hip, so just applying a little pressure to the outside edge of the knee with the left arm. So making sure we're dropping that left hip into the floor. Breaths. So next inhale, let's bring both knees into the chest, and let's extend both legs up the body. So, flat to the palms, palms flat to the floor. Let's release tension through the ankles. And let's just now let the resistance fall into the lower back. So I want the hips to be dropped. I want you just to switch the core on. I want you to just look up, supporting yourself in this parasympathetic state. So we're changing the way that the nervous system works. The legs are up. So it's giving this oxygenated flow back into the body. So the heart is not working in the lungs, it's giving the lungs and the heart a rest, as well as the beautiful feet and the ankles that support us on the earth each day. So once again, this mercurial shift from the yang to the softness of the feminine, the yin. Repeat your Kiryani, legs up the walls. So the next inhale is now to bring that left foot, and once again, working on reclining pigeon. So flat of that right foot, flex the toe, flat of the back. Next inhale, pushing a little bit of weight into the right knee. That's it. Continue with the breath here, softening the hips. The next inhale, let's bring both knees, wind release pose into the chest. Next inhale. Inhale, exhale, release, inhale, exhale, release, inhale, exhale, release. That's it. So now for our final series of twists before Shavasana. So what I'd like to do is just come into a variation. So the left leg, let's see if we can actually grab the left foot from behind us. Just come into a half lotus pose with the foot. So if you're grabbing onto the left foot with the right arm, or if you can't get to grab, that's fine. And with that right leg, it's just bringing the right leg across the body into a twist. So cat pulling its tail. So what we're doing with the right side is that we're opening through the right chest. And that right leg kind of comes across the body into the bind, so you're opening through the chest, looking out over the right shoulder. Of course, the other alternative is right shoulder out, palm facing up if you're not into the grab of that left foot. So let's now release. Once again, get to Kiryani, or maybe just even get back into the hips. So once again, so I'm grabbing onto the right foot with my left arm. Release. And that left leg. Cross into the bind. That's it. Beautiful twist for the final pose. The reason that we like to do twists in the yoga practice before Shavasana is just to return the spine to its natural state. And also it feels really good. So once again, maybe intuitively just bring the arms up over the head for the final time. Length out through the shoulders, palms facing up, length through the feet. And slowly now just start to bring yourself back to your final rest pose. So with your final rest Shavasana, corpse pose, you may want to grab a pillow for the back of the head. You may want to grab a little throw for over the top, depending on where you're practicing. And just now come into your final rest pose. Feet slightly off to the side, palms facing up. You may want to grab for your eye pillow. Maybe take a sip of water. As we slowly start to close the practice. So I'm not going to guide the practice here. I'm just going to allow you to just feel the rhythm of your breath. So what I implore you to do is close the eyes, just to soften. Feel the breath as you draw this energy in through the toes. Perhaps conduct your own beautiful body scan of your body with your breath. So where the breath flows, the healing goes. So send the breath to parts of your body that require a little bit more love, compassion, and healing. So I'll just leave you with your breath for just a few more moments. Soften the eyes, and I'll bring you back in just a few moments. As you're slowly starting to bring some more awareness back to your physical body from this parasympathetic state, just by gently becoming aware of the physical sensations in the body after this beautiful dynamic practice. Videoed from the island of the gods, brought to you with love and kindness. Slowly tingling sensations on the skin, the hands and the toes. Maybe a big deep breath in as you slowly unwind from your beautiful lying corpse pose, the pose of rebirth. And in your own time, maybe you'd like to roll off via the right hand side. Take your place a few moments just to rest in recovery pose. And when you're ready from recovery pose, let's all join together now in our final seated position, your comfortable seat. And let's just join together in the gratitude of the beautiful yoke, the union that brings us together to celebrate and connect to this rhythm and this flow of the practice of yoga. So we're reminded from this final place of seat that we are connected through the breath. We are connected through this essence of the union of the mind, body and spirit. So let's just return your mind now to the beautiful intention that you established for yourself at the beginning of your practice. And let's all now close the practice with hands into Namaskar, into prayer pose. And let's bow our head in gratitude to the love and kindness that we all share, this universal connection. We are all connected by this stream, by this string of the mala of life. Even though physically we may not be present, we intuitively know that we are. So as we rise the hands, you're welcome to join me in a final prayer of close. So for purity of thought, for clarity of speech, and resting hands into Namaskar, for a kind, warm and loving heart. So thank you, ladies, for allowing me to guide you this morning, this evening, wherever it is that you're watching. So namaste from the island of the gods. Thank you. Okay, so thank you everyone. So that concludes the formal practice for this morning, this evening, wherever it is that you are watching. So for those who follow and those that know intuitively why I'm here, so I'm here visiting Bali to go and actually conduct a site visit for the upcoming 2019 in-person yoga retreat that I am hosting here in Bali. So I am hoping to secure the venue, which is a private villa estate in Seminyak. So I have a full day of excursion into the villa compound tomorrow. Also a day visiting Tanalot, which is the water temple, and just finalising the final arrangements for the 2019 October Bali retreat. So what's going to be happening is that I'll then launch the exclusive price and the dates to my pre-registered yoga community. So as it's an exclusive yoga retreat, it's only going to be catering for 7 people. So if you're interested in that, there's going to be early bird pricing as well as opportunities for you to purchase on a payment plan. But those payment plan options are only going to be available for a short period of time, as is the Tier 1 pricing. So Tier 1 essentially meaning the best price option available for 4 to 5 yogis, and then once that sells, I'll then release the second tier of pricing. So if you are interested, please do connect with me. I'd love to host you in person. So have a great evening or a great day wherever it is that you are watching. Thanks everyone. Namaste.